Hello everyone, welcome to tonight's episode of Poetry Live, where we're doing some Samuel Taylor Coleridge with a little bit of Stevie Smith thrown in for good measure, and some of you will know why that is. So welcome. Hello everyone, hello Jess and RJ and Aiden and Blanks, hello, and Ismail and Berica and Dee. Oh, is it? A few people are having issues with Periscope toying around. If they're having a Periscope conference that I didn't get invited to, then they should at least fix Periscope and make sure it's working properly. Hello, Mary. Hello, come in. Take up a seat for tonight's episode. Hello, Arkadina. Good evening. How are you this evening? I hope that you're well over in Italy and all over the world. Hello, Blanks. Hello, how is Spain tonight? I hope it's nice. Hello, Arkadina. Hello, Carly. Come in, everyone. We've still got a couple of minutes before we start doing some Coleridge. Very, very excited to be doing this. I like Coleridge. Coleridge is lots and lots of fun, especially for those of us who like narrative poetry. So, Carly should enjoy this one as well. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Kathy. Come in. You're very, very welcome. Welcome to Poetry Live. For those of you who are new, hello again. For those of you like Kathy who are popping back, tonight will be a good, fun show as we go and do Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Before I start, can I just go and check the room? If I talk about a person from Porlock, does everybody know what I mean? Hello, Kathy. Hello. By the way, it's okay if nobody knows what a person from Porlock is. I will explain all as it becomes relevant later in tonight's reading. But it's a little link into Stevie Smith. Hello, Sally. Hello, Brandon and Nuts. Come in. Take up a seat, guys, as we begin. Well then, Dee, you're in for a treat. And before we do Kublai Khan, I will go and explain all about the person from Porlock and why they're relevant to tonight. So, a bit of fun twist for you coming up this evening. Hello, Brandon in Texas. I'm Simon in Yorkshire. No, were you not here for when we did Vine with the Ancient Mariner, Carly? It's okay, I've got it saved down, so I will post it up online. We did Mariner. Mariner took us a long time, but we got through it in the end. We're doing the Aeolian Harp tonight, followed by Lime Tree Bower. Then I'll go and do Kublai Khan, and then I'll jump to Stevie Smith and do Person from Porlock. So, all good stuff, and I'll make sure it must have been, Carly, it must have been literally like a day or two before you started watching, as it wasn't all that long ago. But yes, don't worry, it's not on the website yet, but I will make sure it goes up on there. You're not late, Susan, we haven't started yet, but we're just about to start. So, please put your arms and legs inside the vehicle, stay seated at all points in time, and don't forget to go and share it with people and to give hearts as well. Hello, Javier. Come in, sit down as we do tonight's reading of Coleridge, starting with the Aeolian Harp. My pensive server, thy soft cheek reclined thus on mine arm. Most soothing sweet it is to sit beside our cot o'ergrown with white-flowered jasmine and the broad-leaved myrtle. Meet emblems they of innocence and love, and watch the clouds that late were rich with light slow saddening round, and mark the star of eve serenely brilliant, such should wisdom be. Shine opposite. How exquisite the scent snatched from yon bean field, and the world so hushed. The stilly murmur of the distant sea tells us of silence. And that simplest lute placed lengthways in the clasping casement, hark! How by the desultory breeze caressed, like some coy maid half yielding to her lover, it pours such sweet upbraiding as must needs tempt to repeat the wrong. And now its strings boldly stretch, the long sequacious notes over delicious surges sink and rise, such a soft floating witchery of sound as twilight elfins make when they at eve voyage on gentle gales from fairyland, where melodies round honey-dropping flowers footless and wild like birds of paradise. Nor pause, nor perch, hovering on untamed wing. Oh, the one life within us and abroad which meets all motion and becomes its soul, a light in sound, a sound like power in light, rhythm in all thought and joyance everywhere. Methinks it should have been impossible not to love all things in a world so filled, where the breeze warbles and the mute still air is music slumbering on her instrument. And thus, my love, as on the midway slope of yonder hill I stretch my limbs at noon, whilst through my half-closed eyelids I behold the sunbeams dance like diamonds on the main, and tranquil muse upon tranquillity, full many a thought uncalled and undetained, and many idle flitting fantasies traverse my indolent and passive brain, as wild and various as the random gales that swell and flutter on this subject lute. And what if all of animated nature be but organic, diversely framed, that tremble into thought as o'er them sweeps plastic and vast one intellectual breeze, at once the soul of each and God of all? But thy more serious eye a mild reproof darts, O beloved woman, nor such thoughts dim and unhallowed dost thou not reject, and biddest me walk humbly with my God. Meek daughter in the family of Christ, well hast thou said and holily dispraised these shapings of the unregenerate mind. Bubbles that glitter as they rise and break on vain philosophy's eye babbling spring, for never guiltless may I speak of him, the incomprehensible, save with awe I praise him, and with faith that inly feels, who with his saving mercies healed me, a sinful and most miserable man, wildered and dark, and gave me to possess peace, and this cot, and thee, heart-honoured maid. There. Quite a nice break to be doing Coleridge after some of the very sad, melancholy poems we've been doing previously. A nice, wonderful evocation of the English countryside and God and Coleridge's love for a woman. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. Thank you very, very much. Hello Aziz, hello Tuba. Come and take up a seat as we go and do. Hello Ruth, come in, take up a seat. We're just doing some poems by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. So I hope you guys will enjoy this. I can see that you guys who've already been here have been enjoying that poem. So I will continue on tonight as we go and do for our next poem, This Lime Tree Bower, My Prison. This one was written by Coleridge after he'd suffered an accident whilst out walking and had left him stuck in the house while his friends were off outside having fun, which I'm sure those of us can relate to. Carly who was feeling ill on Monday, I'm sure you can relate to feeling a bit like this. Although you probably didn't have the copious amounts of drugs that Coleridge had. Well, they are gone, and here must I remain, this lime tree bower my prison. I have lost beauties and feelings, such as would have been most sweet to my remembrance, even when age had dimmed mine eyes to blindness. They, meanwhile, friends whom I never more may meet again on springy heath along the hilltop edge, wander in gladness, and wind down, perchance, to that still roaring dell of which I told. The roaring dell, o'er wooded narrow deep, and only speckled by the midday sun, where its slim trunk the ash from rock to rock flings arching like a bridge, that branchless ash unsunned and damp, whose few poor yellow leaves ne'er tremble in the gale, yet tremble still, fanned by the waterfall. And there, my friends, behold the dark green file of long lank weeds, that all at once, a most fantastic sight, still nod and drip beneath the dripping edge of the blue clay stone. Now, my friends, emerge beneath the wide, wide heaven, and view again the many steepled tract magnificent of hilly fields and meadows, and the sea, with some fair bark perhaps, whose sails light up the slip of smooth clear blue betwixt two isles of purple shadow. Yes, they wander on in gladness all, but thou, methinks, most glad, my gentle-hearted Charles, for thou hast pined and hungered after nature many a year in the great city, pent, winning thy way with sad yet patient soul through evil and pain and strange calamity. Ah, slowly sink beneath the western ridge, thou glorious sun. Shine in the slant beams of the sinking orb, ye purple heath flowers. Richly aburn, ye clouds. Live in the yellow light, ye distant groves, and kindle, thou blue ocean. So, my friend, struck with deep joy, may stand as I have stood, silent with swimming sense, you, gazing round on the wide landscape, gaze till all doth seem less gross than bodily, and of such hues as veil the Almighty Spirit, when yet he makes spirits perceive his presence. A delight comes sudden on my heart, and I am glad as I myself were there. Not in this bower, this little lime tree bower, have I not marked much that has soothed me? Pale beneath the blaze hung the transparent foliage, and I watched some broad and sunny leaf, and loved to see the shadow of the leaf and stem above dappling its sunshine, and that walnut tree which richly tinged, and a deep radiance lay full on the ancient ivy which usurps these fronting elms, and now with blackest mass makes their dark branches gleam a lighter hue through the light twilight. And now the bat wheels silent by, and not a swallow titters, yet still the solitary bumblebee sings in the bean flower. Henceforth I shall know that nature ne'er deserts the wise and pure, no plot so narrow he but nature there, no waste so vacant but may well employ each faculty of sense, and keep the heart awake to love and beauty. And sometimes 'tis well to be bereft of promised good, that we may lift the soul and contemplate with lively joys the joys we cannot share. My gentle-hearted Charles, when the last ruck beat its straight path along the dusty air homewards, I blessed it, deeming its black wing now a dim speck, now vanishing in light, had crossed the mighty orb's dilated glory while thou stoodst gazing, or when all was still, flew creaking o'er thy head, and had a charm for thee, my gentle-hearted Charles, to whom no sound is dissonant, which tells us love. There we have it. There we have it, ladies and gents. I hope you like that vision of Coleridge trapped indoors after an accident, his friends out having fun, and him just contemplating their wonderful adventures and excursions that he couldn't take part in, and thinking how wonderful it is sometimes to be able to dream of these things. I'm glad you liked it, Susan. I had fun reading it. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Indra. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. You're all very, very, very kind. So thank you very much. Hello, Rosella, by the way, and Fabrizio. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying this as I move on to the penultimate poem of the night, but the final one by Coleridge. I'm going to end tonight with a poem by Stevie Smith. But before I do that, I just need to explain this person from Porlock stuff. So, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, one of the 1700s most notorious opium fiends, had a habit of taking a vast amounts of opium and then going off into a daze or dream. Oh, Susan, that's terrible. Oh, such a shame. Well, good night, Susan. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and we'll be here for you tomorrow. Bye-bye, Susan. But, hello, Arkadina. Joining back to the person from Porlock's story, Coleridge would go off and have these opium visions, and sometimes he would write about them. And in one very, very famous opium vision, Coleridge dreamt of Kublai Khan's paradise kingdom of Xanadu, and he saw all of these wonderful images in his mind, and he saw a great poem unfolding as he tried to go and capture it. And when he came out from that opium vision, he sat down to go and write down what he saw, to capture that fleeting opium dream, to put pen to paper and share his vision with the world in the poem Kublai Khan. But midway through writing this poem, he was interrupted. Someone from the nearby town of Porlock came and knocked at the door, and when Coleridge came down to answer the door and see what the person from Porlock wanted, he then came back upstairs to continue with his writing, and found that his vision had left him. He couldn't remember what he saw, and the poem could not continue. Now, whether the person from Porlock is real or not, we don't know. Whether it's just a narrative device of Coleridge's to frame this fragment of poem, we will never know. But that is the person from Porlock who interrupted Kublai Khan, the poem. And so I'm going to read Kublai Khan and then go to another English poet, Stevie Smith, who wrote some reflections on the person from Porlock. Hope you guys enjoy this. In Xanadu did Kublai Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alph the sacred river ran through caverns measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. So twice 5 miles of fertile ground, with walls and towers, were girdled round, and there were gardens bright with sinuous rills, where blossomed many an incense-bearing tree, and here were forests ancient as the hills, enfolding sunny spots of greenery. But oh, that deep romantic chasm which slanted down the green hill athwart a Cedar cover, a savage place as holy and enchanted as ere beneath a waning moon was haunted by a woman wailing for her demon lover. And from this chasm, with ceaseless turmoil seething as if this earth in fast thick pants were breathing, a mounty fountain momentously was forced, amid whose swift half-intermitted burst huge fragments vaulted like rebounding hail, or chaffy grain beneath the thresher's flail, and mid these dancing rocks at once and ever it flung up momently the sacred river, 5 miles meandering with amazing motion. Through wood and dale the sacred river ran, and reached the caverns measureless to man, and sank in tumult to a lifeless ocean. Amid this tumult Kubla heard from far ancestral voices prophesizing war. The shadow of the dome of pleasure floated midway on the waves, where was heard the mingled measure from the fountain and the caves. It was a miracle of rare device, a sunny pleasure dome with caves of ice. A damsel with a dulcimer in a vision once I saw. It was an Abyssinian maid, and on her dulcimer she played, singing of Mount Abora. Could I revive within me her symphony and song, to such a deep delight 'twould win me, and with music loud and long I would build that dome in air, that sunny dome, those caves of ice, and all who heard should see them there, and all should cry, beware, beware, his flashing eyes, his floating hair, weave a circle round him thrice, and close your eyes with holy dread, for he on honey dew hath fed and drunk the milk of paradise. There. That was the fragment of Kubla Khan that was interrupted, so he claimed, by a person from Porlock, and we'll never know if that story is really true or not. But I'd like to end tonight on another English poet's view. Stevie Smith, who wrote around sort of the 1950s, who wrote a poem called Thoughts About the Person from Porlock, where she offers her own interpretation of what caused Coleridge to say this, what actually happened behind the poem. So, ladies and gents, to round off tonight, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Indra. We'll go and take a behind the scenes and look at Stevie Smith's thoughts about the person from Porlock. Coleridge received the person from Porlock, and ever after he called him a curse. Then why did he hurry to let him in? He could have hid in the house. It was not right of Coleridge. In fact, it was wrong. But often we all do wrong. As the truth is, I think, he was already stuck with Kubla Khan. He was weeping and wailing, I am finished, finished. I shall never write another word of it. When along comes the person from Porlock and takes the blame for it. It was not right, it was wrong. But often we all do wrong. May we inquire the name of the person from Porlock? Why, poor son, didn't you know he lived at the bottom of Porlock Hill, so had a long way to go? He wasn't much in the social sense, though his grandmother was a warlock, one of the Rutlandshire ones, I fancy, and nothing to do with a Porlock. And he lived at the bottom of the hill, as I said, and had a cat named Flo, and had a cat named Flo. I long for the person from Porlock to bring my thoughts to an end. I'm becoming impatient to see him. I think of him as a friend. Often I look out of the window. Often I run to the gate. I think he will come this evening. I think it's rather late. I am hungry to be interrupted for ever and ever. Amen. O person from Porlock, come quickly and bring my thoughts to an end. I felicitate the people who have a person from Porlock to break up everything and throw it away, because then there will be nothing to keep them and they need not stay. Why do they grumble so much? He comes like a benison. They should be glad he has not forgotten them. They might have had to go on. These thoughts are depressing. I know. They are depressing. I wish I was more cheerful. It's more pleasant. Also, it is a duty. We should smile, as well as submitting to the purpose of one above who is experimenting with various mixtures of human character which goes best. All is interesting for him. It's exciting. But not for us. There I go again. Smile, smile, and get some work to do. Then you'll be practically unconscious without positively having to go. There, Stevie Smith, who battled all her life with depression, creeping in there at the end of that poem where she actually starts to see the idea of a person from Porlock who can interrupt our thoughts as being something beneficial. Now, is the person from Porlock real? Is the person from Porlock in fact death? Is it a figment from the imagination? Who knows? But just wonderful things to think about. Thank you, RJ. Thank you, Indra. Thank you, Kathy. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Thank you, Isella and RJ and Carly and everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. What have we got tomorrow? Tomorrow, we're doing some more Poe, and I'll read Annabel Lee tomorrow as part of Poe. That's right. We're getting back to Poe. Good Lord, we're going to run out of Poe poems, by the way, if we all keep requesting Poe. But we'll go back. We've still got some Poe poems that we haven't hit before. So, looking forward to getting back stuck into that. I hope you guys will join me for that. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you for sharing and for all your hearts. It means an awful lot to me. It keeps me going. That's it. Don't blame the poor person from Porlock, RJ, because if the poor person from Porlock was really a person from Porlock whose mother was a warlock, then I'd hate to think of all this blame being stuck on him. Thank you, Carly. Thank you, Indra. Well, I couldn't do it. I couldn't be this fun and energetic without you guys here to read to. So, half the credit, at the very least, has to go to you guys. It's a team effort doing these things. So, thank you very, very, very much. Anyway, I won't keep you guys much longer tonight. My throat is clamming up, so I'm going to run off to the land of bed and sleep and get myself a decent night for a change. It's wonderful to see you all though. Thanks for coming. And yes, Carly, I'll go and I'll pop the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner up onto the website and give you a shout when it's live, so you can go and watch it and enjoy it in its entirety, which I'm sure you will enjoy. And maybe in a few months' time we might go and do another live version of it, if there's enough demand. Anyway, good night everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy, funnily enough, it's the best part of my day as well. I really, really look forward to doing this in the evening. Carly, I am only as good as you all deserve. It's all well deserved. And I'm happy to do it. Good night, everyone. Good night, RJ. Good night, Zella. I'll see you guys tomorrow.